Recording. Okay, so our topic is gun control, and Hannah is going to start by reading an article about Sandy Hook Elementary.
Okay, so in a classroom this morning, this teacher wrote this account of what happened. So she has to say, is this, wow, that's bad. Okay. The day began like most days. I had just finished playing a recording of Oh What a Beautiful Morning, the cue for my first graders to gather in front of the classroom for our good morning meeting. Good morning, fantastic friends, I said just before taking attendance. Good morning, Miss Roy, they replied. The theme of the day was our holiday traditions. The students talked about making cookies and visiting Santa and listening for reindeer. At 9:30 a.m. they heard gunshots. First comes the initial blast of gunfire, then the sound of shattering glass. The hair on my arms stand up. My classroom is the first one in the building. We're in grave danger, I think. Sitting targets. I jump up, run towards the door, pull it closed, switch off the lights. I can't lock the door. My keys are clear across the room on top of my desk, and there's not time to fetch them. If we're going to live, we have to find a hiding place, fast. My students don't seem to understand what is happening. One little girl, I call her fashionista, because she wears leopard prints and leggings, stands there smiling. I can't tell if she's somehow oblivious to the sounds or scared frozen. Evil is coming for us and there is nowhere to hide. So where can we go? The bathroom. A tiny first grade sized lavatory with only a toilet and a toilet paper dispenser inside. It is our only chance. I turn to my students who look up with pleading eyes. Into the bathroom now, I say. At first they protest. What do you mean, Miss Roig? Shots are being fired outside of our classroom door. Hurry, I say, pushing them into the tiny space. I begin lifting up students and piling them inside. I place one student, then two, then three on top of the toilet, and I hoist my littlest girl up to sit on the toilet paper dispenser. We're all crushed together with not even enough room left to take a deep breath. I reach out and pull the door closed, but the door isn't there. In my rush to save us, I didn't even notice the door opens into the bathroom. Okay. We are blocking it with our bodies. I feel as if I'm beginning to panic. One by one, I pick up the students who are blocking the door and move each one behind it until I am finally able to push it closed. I can't help but wonder if by trapping us in the bathroom, I have just sentenced us to our death. There's a lot more.
We're just going to end there.
There's a lot, yeah.
Do you have numbers?
Okay. Imagine you are a parent of one of the children that was in Sandy Hook Elementary when gunshots rang through the school. Should the government implement more vigorous gun control laws in order to protect the public? Recently, gun control laws have created a huge controversy. This is because these types of laws are not the same across the entire nation. They differ from one state to the next. For example, Minnesota gun control laws are very different from Connecticut's because the laws on gun control are the individual states' decisions, not the national government's.
So, gun control has to do with the Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms and the right to have a militia. But the right to bear arms is what gun control talks about. And, wait, did you read the second paragraph?
Yeah.
Okay. And the biggest, the biggest like concern about gun control is that, or not concern, what's the word?
Controversy?
No, I don't know. Is that there are no federal laws for gun control. It's everything is decided by each state. So like there isn't like you can't have this type of gun nationally. It's all state divided.
Okay. The AR-15, guns themselves are at the center of the debate on gun control. Some argue that the handgun is necessary for individual protection, while the rifle and AR-15 are not needed for self-protection or recreational use. The AR-15 is a type of gun that has recently caused America to take a closer look at gun control laws. This is because it has been involved in numerous school shootings in recent years.
The AR-15 is an automatic or semi-automatic assault rifle, just for your information.
In December of 2012, a gunman fatally shot 20 children and 6 adult staff members on the campus of Sandy Hook Elementary using the AR-15. The number of shootings per year is steadily increasing, and this year alone, there has been 12 school shootings in the United States during the time that school has been in session. These school shootings have brought up much controversy over guns control measures. After Sandy Hook, the federal government investigated gun control and suggested measures including banning assault weapons, eliminating the gun show loophole, increasing background checks, decreasing the amount of ammunition people are permitted to carry, and increasing the amount of training needed to receive a gun permit. However, there were no changes to the federal law. On the other hand, many state laws revolving around gun use were changed. Minnesota, however, was not one of the states that increased their gun control measures. Today, there is still a strong argument revolving around if the true causes of these strategies are, in fact, guns.
So, a side note on that, one of the investigated laws that were being suggested was to decrease the gun show loophole, and the gun show loophole is basically when there are gun conventions and gun shows, and you can buy weapons there without having to have as many permits or any background checks. And so by eliminating gun shows, you would get rid of the probability of somebody that doesn't have a permit or doesn't have a good background check by getting a gun and possibly doing something harmful with it.
And then also talks about how Minnesota was not one of the states that increased their gun control measures. Our laws right now is you don't need a permit to purchase or carry, carry rifle or shotgun, but you need a permit to purchase and carry handguns. Also, you don't need to register or license on rifle, shotguns, or handguns. So those are our laws right now.
Okay, so what some people are saying who want to put limits on gun control are that the only function of a gun is to kill something, whether it's an animal or a human. That's the only thing you can do with it, and there's no other point of having it. Also that gun ownership leads to death if it ends up in the wrong hands. It could be taken from your house, such as it was in Sandy Hook when the guy took it from his mom. It could be taken by criminals who aren't allowed to own a gun, or children in general. And in 2006, there was $489 million of domestic non-military modern sporting rifles that are from the military. They were made in the military, but now normal people just own them, just to shoot stuff. Also, school shootings are steadily increasing. We have a chart of that. She said there have been 12 school shootings.
Sorry.
There have been 12 school shootings since October 1st, and most of them are with stolen guns. Chart.
Okay. It's probably gonna be frozen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Here is the chart.
Really.
That will not be technical difficulties in the presentation.
So this just shows all of the school shootings that there have been in the last year.
You can come
And yeah, there you go. And then this is where they have occurred.
Okay. Another thing that people who want to put restrictions on guns are saying is that if we have deeper background checks for purchasing dangerous guns or any types of guns, it's not going to hurt anyone unless they're trying to hide something or doing something really bad with it. Thank you. That would also help checking people if they're mentally ill. A lot of the school shootings, or just shootings in general, have been by mentally ill people who usually kill themselves after they shoot others. So if we could prevent that by doing background checks, I don't see why we wouldn't do that.
Okay, so people who are against gun control argue a lot of controversial things to what Hannah just said. The biggest organization for being against gun control is the NRA, which is the National Rifle Association, and they believe and enforce that it is a person's constitutional right to bear arms, which we stated was the Second Amendment. One article that I read, a sheriff stated that his belief is that the current laws in Minnesota are sufficient enough to protect the public, but the question is about if nationally it's sufficient enough. So the issue is going to be whether there should be a national law or if each state needs to change their laws. Other people argue that people have the right to protect their families. So in case of like a robber or anything, they should be able to have guns. And then farmers, a lot of them use guns to protect their stock, like cattle or sheep, and their crops, to keep crows or anything from getting at them. Also, if people own guns, the country is more able to defend itself as a whole from any like controversy that may come up. States who have already restricted gun control are facing many court challenges. So, like in Connecticut, they made a lot of new laws, and in states like that, new court cases are coming up with people arguing against the new laws. And limiting the amount of ammunition would affect hunters because they want to be able to carry as much as possible to get as much as possible. Lastly, many people, like one of the suggested measures was to increase the training in order to get a gun, but many people feel that they already have enough training to get their gun license, and that increasing their training wouldn't do anything because like they already know enough about gun safety. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the discussion questions.
So I don't know if we need to